yes, I love her like oh, yes, I love her like oh, yes, I love her like yes, I love her like oh, yes, I love her like oh, yes, I love her like oh, yes, I love her like yes, I love her like oh, yes, I love her like oh, yes, I love her like oh, yes, I love her like yes, I love her like oh, yes, I love her like oh, yes, I love her like oh, yes, I love her like
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I apologize. My apologies for smiling this hard. It's kind of hard to contain myself right now. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. But you know, what can you do? What can you say? Shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate y'all joining in. I know a lot of y'all are currently at work or on lunch break or whatever the case may be. I just wanted to hop on here real quick, maybe for like an hour or so. Blazing chill. I am. I mean, I'm not here to lie to y'all. Listen, the reality of the situation is, well, I guess that I should do the intro first, right? I guess I should do the intro first because I know a lot of people watch back on the playback. So first and foremost, welcome to Move the Chains. If you're unfamiliar with myself or unfamiliar with what Move the Chains is, this is just a live stream or videos or whatever the case may be where it's just me. I am the host of the For Panthers Fans Only podcast that I do with myself, my co-host Terrence, my producer Tavian, as well as the whole team with Dylan, Haley, Rod. So if you guys are unfamiliar, appreciate you all tuning in. You can like, comment, subscribe, turn the bell notification on if you're watching on YouTube, just to stay up to date with what we have going on. We release a new episode every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And then, of course, these live streams happen sporadically. Sometimes it's just myself. Sometimes it's with other members of the team. So there's always always a surprise on the other side of you guys clicking on For Panthers Fans Only on YouTube or X, whatever the case may be. So if you're new here, shout out to you. Thank you so much for being here. If you're a returning viewer, as always, appreciate the love and support. Make sure you guys like the video and make sure that bell notification is turned on, as well as the subscribe button. Tap in with us on social media, as you see down below. For the overwhelming majority, you can find us at For Panthers Fans Only, Instagram, TikTok, forpanthersfansonly.com on the World Wide Web, also at FPFO_podcast on X. Shout out to all the X viewers. I know there's quite a few of you guys over there right now that are tuned in. And yeah, that is that's my intro. That's my plugs, I guess. If you want to purchase a Carolina Reapers t-shirt, they are still available on forpanthersfansonly.com right now. If you're unfamiliar, let me see if I have one. Thought I had one nearby, but maybe I don't. Yeah, I don't. But if you want to see what those look like or are unfamiliar with what our Carolina Reaper t-shirts look like, you can go over to forpanthersfansonly.com right now and check those out, and you can make your purchase if that's what you guys want to do. But all of that being said, you guys know why I'm here. Blasian picked up kind of on my energy. I guess it was like hard not to tell what kind of energy I was on. But I'm happy, bro. I'm excited, honestly. The reality of the situation is quite simply this, right? And we talked about this actually on For Panthers Fans Only this past week on our episode, right? So we already kind of had a feeling that this was going to happen. So we went into detail kind of on our feelings, what we expected the compensation to be, whatever the case may be. But when you look at this situation holistically, you have a 35-year-old receiver that, don't get me wrong, bro, 2022, what was it, 2022, 2023, whenever Adam Thielen went crazy, when we went for two wins total, like, don't get me wrong, like, he was phenomenal that year. He was big time in what we needed him to be for Bryce Young, even though, that situation even took a little bit longer to develop than a lot of us would have liked. Nevertheless, we're here now, right? So you have a 35-year-old receiver that's taking up $7 or $8 million against your cap for one more year, in which a season in which you have a room full of guys that are 2 years or younger. Like, you have a Jalen Coker, who's an undrafted free agent going into his second year. You have an Xavier Legette, who you took in the first round last year, right? You have a Teteroa McMillan that you drafted 8th overall this season. You have a Jimmy Horn, who, we discussed him as well, because I was under the belief, as well as my co-host Terrence, we were under the belief that Jimmy Horn may not make this team. But obviously, as we know, with that official 53-man roster coming out yesterday, he did make it. So that's another guy, another rookie, another young guy that you talk about wanting to push outside of his comfort zone and expedite that development, right? That has always been my stance for me personally. My stance as it pertains to Adam Thielen. This is before we get into the other stuff, because I'm gonna get into the other stuff. Like, if y'all are unfamiliar with me, bro, like I'm not here to lie to y'all. I'm extremely honest, and sometimes my honesty comes off as aggression or whatever the case may be. I'm just here to be honest. Like, he no longer wanted to be here. He no longer wanted to be here. And to be quite frank, I'll keep it 1,000 with y'all, because this is something that people don't want to acknowledge, specifically Panthers fans. Adam Thielen really never wanted to be here. He never wanted to be here. The Minnesota Vikings pushed him out because they thought he was too expensive for the production that he brought to the table. Adam Thielen then hit the free agent market. He had other teams that he was interested in pursuing, that he was extremely vocal about and had been vocal about on multiple occasions. And the Carolina Panthers really were the only ones that took the chance on him at the price point that he wanted. So realistically, Adam Thielen really never wanted to be in Charlotte. He never wanted to be a Carolina Panther. And that was abundantly clear, in my opinion, all throughout his time here. And for whatever reason, we have fans that try and cope and act like, this is a gift from God that we got to experience 2 years of Adam Thielen. But for me personally, it's just like, okay, so what? Like, let's move on. Because like I mentioned, you have all of those young guys. And my stance from, I don't even know, maybe even all the way back to March, because I want to just go ahead and acknowledge this fact too, that a lot of y'all slandered my name and called myself, as well as when we were having these conversations, my co-host and my producer, everything but children of God, for feeling the way that we felt about potentially cutting or moving on from Adam Thielen in some way, shape, or form. Now, as the offseason progressed and as we go through training camp, obviously cutting him was unrealistic, right? But the conversations, again, via FPFO, initiated by me, were being had all the way back in March and April about what the Carolina Panthers should do with Adam Thielen. And this was pre us going Tedero and McMillan. When we went T-Mac, for me personally, it was already written that we should move on from Adam Thielen, in my opinion, because you don't want to stunt the growth of these guys, right? You just simply don't want to do it. You just simply don't want to do it. So that's part of the reason why I'm excited that the deal happened. I mean, outside of that, when you look at the compensation, I see a lot of Vikings fans on I see a lot of Vikings fans on X, and they're dumb as hell too. I'm just gonna say this. They're just in, like, they're really insane, bro. Like, first and foremost, they wanted us just to bend over backwards. They wanted us to bend over backwards to just donate. They just wanted us to donate Adam Thielen to them because they want us to, quote unquote, do right by the players. Do right by the player. Transparently, I just, like, Adam Thielen is not a guy that I'm willing to do right by if I'm the Carolina Panthers. If I'm Dan Morgan, if I'm Brant Tillis, like, we don't give a fuck about what you're all talking about. Like, we're just simply not doing that. So that was the first time that the Vikings just sounded dumb. Vikings fan base just sounded dumb, because the overwhelming majority of them were just on our body because we're trying to get what Adam Thielen is worth in return, right? And then you hear them talking about the Panthers never had any leverage and this and that and this and that. We discussed this again Tuesday morning or Monday evening when we record, Tuesday morning when we release. We discussed the fact that Adam Thielen for the Carolina Panthers, the value for Adam Thielen and the Carolina Panthers may not be equivalent to what his quote unquote value is on the market, but that's where we have him valued for our team, right? So when you look at that, yeah, y'all are gonna have to come off of multiple picks, and that pick is not gonna be just a 6th-round pick, like just a throwaway pick. It's just simply not. So all of that being said, thank you, Headley, for letting me know. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know what's happening. all of that being said, in my opinion, this is a good move for the Carolina Panthers. Again, when you look at the compensation, I think we pretty much pick swap 5th round picks. So they get a 5th. Actually, let me just pull it up. Let me just pull it up and speak in facts, so I'm not guessing. So we can talk about compensation very briefly. Let me see. Let me pull it up. And y'all let me know how y'all feeling in the chat. I see the chat is jumping right now. So shout out to y'all. And I promise I will get to the chat at some point or another. But I want to get this off. I want to get this off first really quickly. So everybody just be patient with me if you don't mind. Okay, here we go. We'll pull up Shefty shit. Even though he's compromised. Even though Adam Schefter is compromised, we'll just take a look at his tweet. Finalizing a trade for Adam Thielen to return to Minnesota. Vikings get Thielen, a conditional 2026 pick, 7th round pick, and a 27 5th round pick. So we swap picks. So we get an additional 5th next year and then a 4th in 2027. And then that conditional 7th round picks turn to a 6th round or 7th round pick, rather, excuse me, turns to a 6th round pick. The details on that is if Adam Thielen doesn't play 10 games, if he's not active for 10 or more games, then that becomes a 6th round pick. Or if he's not on the active 53-man roster for 14 games. So more or less, if Adam Thielen can play 10 games or more for the Minnesota Vikings this season, that 7th pick will stay a 7th pick. But if he's not able to, then that pick becomes a 6th pick. So more or less, like, right, when you do the math on this whole thing, you swap the 5th round picks. We're not too worried about a 7th round pick. I mean, just transparently, with all due respect. In return, more or less, the Carolina Panthers receive a 4th round pick for Adam Thielen. And when we discussed this on Tuesday, Monday, whatever, when we discussed this, my price point personally was a 3rd round pick. Just because that's where I felt as though the Carolina Panthers were at that time and with their asking price. But as time has gone on, it seems as though the asking price was always a 4th round pick. And what seemed to have held up the deal, right? Because again, based on what I've been seeing and reading and hearing, via the beat, as well as just other content creators and things of that nature that I know have confirmed sources, based on everything that I've been told, the holdup wasn't necessarily the compensation as it pertains to the Carolina Panthers. It was about Dan Morgan forcing the Minnesota Vikings hand to pay the remainder of Adam Thielen's contract, which I believe is around $7 to $8 million for this season. Dan Morgan told them, listen, if y'all want him, y'all can have him. He wants to be there. Cool. Y'all make it happen. We just simply are not paying this money. We're just simply not paying this money for a guy that is no longer here, that doesn't want to be here. We're not doing it. And according to what I've heard, that was the holdup, was trying to convince the Minnesota Vikings to take on the cap hit of Adam Thielen. So listen, our hands are wiped clean. Our hands are wiped clean. He wants nothing to do with the Carolina Panthers. I have problems, or I have thoughts of my own that believe he never wanted to be here. Because when you look back at the situation, you talk to him, he wanted to go to the Chiefs, he wanted to go to XYZ. It was pretty much everybody but the Panthers in that regard. Then you see some of the bitch fits that he threw on the side, and I guess I shouldn't say that. Then you see some of the tantrums he threw on the sideline a couple of times over the past 2 years, and just being frustrated with Bryce Young. Then you hear him talk shit about our facilities as a team, and just really just in the media sending subliminal shots at the team as a whole, at the organization, etc. And then, of course, like we see, and if y'all haven't seen, I mean, I don't know how y'all haven't, but the pure elation from his wife, which I believe is coming from not only her, but also him as well. So, I just, for me personally, bro, like, because we want to talk about vet presence in the locker room, and we want to just talk about this and that as it pertains to leadership and vet presence and all of these other things. I personally just don't want my young guys coming up under a vet that has 1 foot out the door and that has minimal commitment to the organization. That for me personally is just not the brand that we're trying to build. So if you don't want to be here, listen, with all due respect, we appreciate your services. Thank you so much. We appreciate your services. Beat the traffic. You know, do what you need to do. And if Adam Thielen is so intrigued by the Minnesota Vikings and what they have going on, I wish them nothing but the best of luck. But transparently, if we're just being honest, I just don't believe that the Minnesota Vikings, the way they're currently constructed, I just don't believe that they're that much better than the Carolina Panthers. So his claims of always wanting to go to a contender and wanting to do this and that, far-fetched in my head. I just think it has something more to do with the Carolina Panthers and the city of Charlotte more than anything else. I'll just be honest, because unfortunately the Minnesota Vikings are not competing for a Super Bowl championship this year with the rookie quarterback, or with the quarterback that, second year guy that was injured, or whatever the case may be. Rookie quarterback, like I said initially. It's just not it's not realistic. It's not plausible. Like, so they can say whatever they want to say. They can spin it however they want to try and spin it. I'm just telling y'all what it is, bro. So for me personally, it's just very frustrating to see fans on their hands and knees and doing all of these tributes and doing all this and that to a nigga that really just never really appreciated nor respected this organization, this fan base, this team. I mean, it's hard for me. And listen, I'm sure if you guys follow us on X, you guys have seen some of the things that we put out regarding Adam Thielen. That has nothing to do with me. That has absolutely nothing to do with me. That's my content manager. He has free reign to post whatever he wants to post on X and kind of approach it that way. He has the green light. He's very much aware of that. So those are his opinions and his stance. But I personally don't understand why, niggas acting like this dude walks on water. He contributed to 7 wins in his 2 seasons, and had a bad attitude the whole time that he was here as it pertains to the organization as a whole. So if you guys are expecting, me to be on my knees and just, oh, Adam, thank you so much for everything that you did, and for me personally, it's just not fucking happening, dog. It's just not happening. I'm gonna just keep it 1,000. It's just not. Then you see the constant thank you, QJ. Thank you, QJ, because that's something that they're not gonna want to acknowledge. That's something that they're not gonna want to acknowledge. They talk about when I'm wrong and being loud and wrong and all of this shit. That's because they never acknowledge when I really try and put niggas on game. But then, like I say, y'all want to do all of that behind Adam Thielen, who never really wanted to be here, who never really seemed like he was enjoying his time here, who never really showed a morsel really of appreciation for the opportunity that we gave him as an aging receiver in the NFL. Y'all want me to get on my knees and blow him, and then like all I just see is elation from his wife. And honestly, like when we're in this, like, and this is why I'm putting stock into that, bro. When I just feel like when you're in a situation as an NFL player, right? Your significant other, especially when they have as much clout as Shorty does, as much motion as Shorty does. Like if you go on her Instagram, she got 100,000 followers. Like, bro, that's a significant amount, right? So when you're in that kind of situation, bro, if I'm an NFL player, there are certain messages that I'm gonna green light for my wife, and some messages that I'm just gonna dead. Now, I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form, like being controlling or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, there's just a certain level of uniform. What is the word that I'm looking for? Yes, a certain level of uniform that we have to put out to the public, right? So if your wife is just going absolutely berserk and ape shit with that following on Instagram, like I'm just personally believing if you're Adam Thielen that you're greenlighting and you're greenlighting and you're in support of this message in some way, shape, or form. And at some point or another, I have to look at it as if she's vocalizing the thoughts that you cannot say publicly. Honestly, That's how I look at it. That's just me. So you go back and you look at when a couple of days ago she's like, oh yeah, big news is on the way, big news is coming, this and that on her Instagram. And then a couple days later, you just have to continue to fight so hard, like this and that, all of this extra shit, bro. And then when he finally is traded, oh, Adam has been so strong and Adam has done this and that. Thank God, like literally at the throne of God himself to leave Charlotte, bro. Literally at the throne of God himself to leave Charlotte, and y'all want me to like have a sacrificial ceremony for the 2 years that this nigga has spent here. I'm just personally not doing it, bro. Honestly, like I'm just not. Matter of fact, I have her Instagram story from today pulled up just so y'all can see, like, because I just want y'all to see the energy that she be on, bro. And again, this has nothing to do with her as a person. This is just what I feel the overwhelming tonality in the household, specifically coming from Adam Thielen, is. And I'm not going to spend much more time on this because but I'm just going to show y'all, bro. I'm just going to show y'all so y'all can kind of like feel where I'm coming from, like legitimately. Let me just show y'all this shit. I'm going to just share my entire screen and do it this way. Look at this. Wait. And I need to turn the sound up to make sure y'all can hear it. Look at this. We're coming home. Praise God. Look how deep this shit is, bro. Praise God. You know? Like it's that to her. What a roller coaster. What a roller coaster. Adam, you are so strong, and I know how much this means to you. You know what I'm saying? So we like the scum of the earth tour, and then look, we having a whole party, and maybe I shouldn't do that because the kid is in it. So let me not even do that. Let me stop sharing my screen. But you know what I'm saying, dog? So it's just like, bro, like, okay, cool. Like, tell that fuck nigga beat the traffic, bro. As far as I'm concerned, like the nigga ain't get me a playoff berth. He ain't get me a playoff berth. It ain't like he was a Pro Bowler when he was here. So I mean, unfortunately, I'm just not gonna do it. But outside of that, bro, like I said, I just feel like he didn't ever want to be here. Hey, QJ, listen, I'm just only here to report, bro. I'm just only here to report and tell y'all my perspective and opinion on actual shit that has happened. If you guys are unfamiliar or like weren't aware of like what was going on her Instagram, bro. Oh, I mean, to me, he's been gone. So, like, then I see Cassidy Hill, and this is not any shot at her or whatever the case may be, right? But I know that you're a team paid journalist. Like, you have a direct connection and contract with the Carolina Panthers, bro. So whatever you say and put out, like, I'm just already looking at it different. So then I see Cassidy Hill yesterday when Adam Thielen pulls up to practice, talking about look who's here and smiling. Yeah, unfortunately, you can smile through bullshit in your life. You can smile through bullshit in your life, and I don't need you to piss on me and tell me that it's raining in this sense and trying to tell me that, oh, he's just so elated and happy to be at practice for the Carolina Panthers. No, that's just simply not the case, and it never was. It just simply never was. Yes. Okay, to answer this, and I'm gonna go through the chat. Like I said, I know the chat is booming right now, so I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna go through it here within the next like 5 or 10 minutes or so. But like, she was born and raised in Minnesota. Would you be happy to come home? I mean, yes, over the top of the video. Would I be? I mean, yeah, I would be happy to come home, bro. But it's at some point or another, like, there's a certain level of decorum that you should show. And through this whole process, outside of that video, which, okay, cool, the deal is done, whatever the case may be. Outside of that video, there's been no decorum. She's made her stance abundantly clear, bro. And we're not gonna act like these players and their wives don't have the ability to move around the country as freely as they see fit. So, like, Yeah, okay, cool. She's excited to go home, but you're not gonna sit here and tell me, bro, that if she didn't want to, she could go back to Minnesota literally every single week of her life. So I look at it a little bit deeper. Like, yeah, cool. She's excited to go home, but Adam wanted out of Carolina, bro. Adam wanted out of Carolina. Yeah, she's excited to go back home. And then she had the babies on it's because you wore your twin shirt today. All of this, cool, bro. They didn't want to be here. They didn't want to be here. So, like I say, just beat the traffic. And I don't expect this fan base to just have a parade for a nigga that went over 1,000 one time and then played 10 games the following year. I'm just, it's just not my stance. It's just not how I'm personally going about it. And I'm not telling y'all how y'all should live or how y'all should do what y'all do. I'm just telling y'all that I see everything. And it just is confusing to me. I just have a platform to say, y'all confuse the hell out of me with this stance with a guy that has done nothing but repeatedly spit in your face as a fan base. And at every step of the way, any opportunity to potentially leave, he's taking the opportunity to dwell in that space and to make it seem like he doesn't want to be here. So that's just my opinion. It just is. No, literally. Hey, literally, literally, bro. Literally. No cap. No cap, bro. Like, this is how they look at Charlotte, and this is how they look at this organization, dog. Like, that is just not because they're happy to go home, bro. Like, I'm assuming that you just went home like 3 or 4 months ago because that's when the off season was, dog. Like, you feel me? Like, bro, don't sell me on that. Don't sell me on that, bro. Yeah, like, you feel me, bro? Like, that's what I'm saying, bro. So yeah. So what is okay, cool. So outside of that, right? So those are my initial thoughts, my initial feelings. I tell you guys, I share how I feel with you all. Y'all provide me with a safe space. Sometimes y'all provide me with a safe space to just get my opinions off and to let y'all know exactly how I'm feeling about the situation, right? Um, so what does it mean for the Carolina Panthers at this point, right? You have a very, very young receiving core, right? And we talk about how deep this room has been all throughout the summer. And, you have guys like personalities like Chad Ochocinco that, go on and talk about how deep this receiving core is. You have the NFL's official Twitter page talking about how deep this room is, all of this kind of stuff, right? So now, in my opinion, that really gets pushed to the test. I personally am actually very surprised because I honestly believed that as soon as I honestly believed as soon as Adam Thielen was traded, after looking at the situation again holistically, I believe that after Adam Thielen was traded, I thought that we would instantly get the notification that Hunter Renfrow would be returning because Hunter Renfrow and Dave from PNP, like in the group chat, he made a phenomenal point yesterday that Hunter Renfrow and Adam Thielen at this point in their careers are pretty much the same player. Like, honestly, Hunter Renfrow is just younger and he's a little bit more explosive than Adam Thielen currently is. So honestly, I'm very surprised that we didn't get that notification yet. I am still looking out for it because I do believe that you need a guy, a veteran presence in the room. Like, I know you have David Moore, which that's a completely different conversation for a different day. But you have a David Moore. But I would also like Hunter Renfrow to be in that room as well because he does provide you with a more reliable option than a David Moore, than a unproven Jimmy Horn, right? So you want that room to remain as deep as possible. I figured after I got the emotional shit out of the way yesterday with us releasing Hunter Renfrow, I figured that there was another play in place, right? Kind of similar to the Jalen Coker deal last year, where you released a guy, but you bring him back on practice squad, right? And of course, it's a bit different for Hunter Renfro's situation because he's a vet. And so he would have had the opportunity to go to any other team that he chose. And I will tell you guys, just based on what I'm hearing, there are other teams that are currently interested in Hunter Renfrow, which was the risk that you ran as the Carolina Panthers when you decided to release him yesterday, right? So now we're going to have to kind of try and, yeah, we're going to rely on this being home for you. But now we're kind of in a tough situation because you may have to pay a little bit more for him when you're talking to his representation. Because, yeah, there are other offers on the table. And just because you guys are home and just because you guys gave us the option, to come back into the league and do this and that and pay this X amount, and we've been vocal about wanting to be here. Yeah, unfortunately, business is business. So if I have a team, which I don't think that this is the case, but if I have a team that's offering me $5 or $6 million and I'm Hunter Renfro over, 2 years, and you're only offering me a 1 year deal for X amount, unfortunately, yeah, you're gonna have to make the deal a little bit sweeter. So I think that the Carolina Panthers do need to make a play to bring Hunter Renfro back. The sooner the better. I know that waivers, if I'm not mistaken, waivers clear now. 1241. Let me see. I haven't gotten any news up to this point about it. So I don't know. I haven't seen anything yet. But I know that there will be other moves made. I'm gonna save my DJ Johnson rant for next week for Monday because I'm just gonna be calm and be cool and be collected because I really just have no idea, bro, how he continues to make the roster with doing minimal work, honestly. But maybe he's just a guy that they keep around because they know if they want to go after a waiver, they know they want to go after a free agent, whatever the case may be, and they need a clear room. He's the easiest guy to do that with. So I don't know. Um, Outside of that, this is going to be a tough challenge for Bryce Young, which is another conversation that I don't see being had too often. Um, but if you're Bryce Young, bro, listen, you no longer have your security blanket. You no longer have your security blanket, and honestly, as a fan, like yeah, it's time to get to work, bro. It's time to show it. It's time to get to work. Like the first 2 seasons, Bryce Young has been able to rely on Adam Thielen, right? Anytime we get in a jam or anytime it's a third and whatever, like we're instantly looking 19's way. That's just what we're doing. We're looking 19's way, and more than likely, he's going to make the play for us. He's going to make the catch for us, whatever the case may be. It's time for Bryce Young to take that next step in his maturation. It's time for him to take that next step. I believe he has the ability to do it. I do, but he's going to have to show it. He's going to have to show it. And I will say, like, as you look at some of the beat reporters and stuff like that, that had the ability to be at camp for its entirety, right? Um, they have spoken about Adam Thielen having a decreasing role in the offense, him becoming somewhere between wide receiver 4 and wide receiver 5 within that room, right? So these whispers have been occurring with his role being diminished a bit for the Carolina Panthers, but now we have to see it on display. Now you're going to have to utilize these young guys. Now you're going to have to find a target that you have overwhelming trust in. I personally would say that Tedero McMillan is probably that guy for him at this very time, just because XL, we know about him. Well, actually, you know what? Not only Tedero McMillan, I think Coker is another guy that he can trust and that there is some trust already established there. I still think him and XL have a long way to go. I do. Because I feel like to a certain degree, Bryce Young is probably jaded based on what he experienced last year with XL. Right. And understandably so. And y'all know how hard I'm ridden for Xavier Leggett this all season in particular. But if we're just having an honest conversation, it's hard to renew trust. It's hard to renew trust in any situation. You look at friendships, you look at relationships, you look at work colleagues, you look at whatever. It's hard to renew trust, bro. When trust is broken, it's hard to renew trust. So I think that Bryce and XL have some way to go, but yeah, it's time to take that next step in your maturation and development. It is. It really, really is. Um, so it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. I'm excited. I'm excited for what the future holds. Um, I'm ecstatic, honestly, for what the future holds because, like QJ mentioned, I've been calling this for months now. At this point, like I said, bro, literally March, April, I brought this conversation up, and you guys hung me from a cross. I brought up the potential of him being traded. I brought up the potential of him being released because my whole stance is if people are going to take the stance that okay, I don't necessarily feel like the Panthers can win or do anything this particular season, and it's about next year, you need to expedite the process. And the way to expedite that process, excuse me, is baptism by fire. Baptism by fire. That's just the way it goes. That's just the way it goes. Let me see. Kelvin, I see your message, bro. I don't know why that is. I haven't received that message from anybody else. Just the way it goes. Yeah, I don't know. Kelvin, I don't know. That's something on your end, brother. That's something on your end. Cause I'm getting feedback on the stream and I'm getting feedback on the X stream as well. So I don't know. The training wheels are off. Thielen wasn't actively targeted this all season. Yeah, I mean, I think that the training wheels are off, and I think that Dave Canales, Doug, honestly, I think that Dave Canales and his coaching staff are aware of that as well. And I think I think that the way that we approach this offseason and the installation of the offense and everything like that, right, and kind of taking that next step into this second year of Dave Canales' offense, I think all of that was taken into account under the belief or moving under the presumption that Adam Thielen is going to be taking a step back this year in our offense. Like we have all of these young guys, we're going to utilize them. We're going to utilize them. I believe that that was the thought process as it pertains to what has been going on in camp and why you've been seeing the reports that Adam Thielen hasn't been or wasn't as actively targeted as we've seen over the past two off seasons. So, like, yeah, I mean, it's just that time, bro. It's just that time. Yeah, yeah, I know, bro. It's because I read my Bible this morning. Actually, I read Hebrew 9. I read Hebrews 9 this morning. That's what I read. It was actually very quick because I had to get started with work. You feel me? So yeah, I'm on it. I'm on it today. I'm on it today. Let me go through the chat a little bit and then I'm gonna hop off because uh I just wanted to come in and kind of give my instant reaction. And then of course, as you guys know, every Tuesday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, we'll hop into it and dive into it a little bit more. Um with our full video production. So obviously that'll give me more time to assess and more time to look over, you know, what this offense is going to look like moving on or whatever the case may be. But right now, just know I feel as though this is a win, yet another win for this front office and for this current regime, honestly. And then when you, because I was watching Dunk earlier, um, when you look at the Carolina Panthers and what they've been able to do with their fourth round picks, and just how valuable right this deal becomes for the Panthers, like recent fourth round picks, ETN, Trevor ETN, who honestly I was down on when we initially drafted him, but he had a pretty good preseason. And with you cutting Blackshear yesterday, I'm assuming that he's gonna play a significant part in the return game. So ETN, JT Sanders, I believe, was a fourth round pick. Yep, he was because we got Trev in the third, JB in the second. So JT Sanders in the fourth, Ransom in the fourth, right? So you have guys like if you're a Carolina Panthers fan and you want to know like what we traded Adam Thielen for, like these are the guys that we brought in. And I'm not 100% convinced that Ransom won't be starting at some point or another this season, if not week one, to be honest, because I don't think Nick Scott has it. I just don't. I don't think Nick Scott has what we need. He can communicate as good as he wants, bro. But unfortunately, if your communication and your play doesn't equate to the same value, nigga, I don't care how good you talk. I don't care how good you communicate on the field. Like, we just can't utilize you. So Ransom, I believe, will be a starter. JT Sanders, he got some early starting reps last year when Tommy Tremble was down. And then of course, like, he gets injured in that Chiefs game after having a big drive, and then he just doesn't return back to what we, you know, were seeing in his development pre-injury. But I think he's going to be a stud. I think he's going to be a dog. I think that he is going to be the starting tight end for the Carolina Panthers this season at some point or another. Trevor Etienne, he gives you value in that valuable depth in that running back room. So even though Jonathan Brooks is down this year, you can still go 3 deep if need be. And then who else? Those are the 3 guys. I'm missing one more. JT, Trevor, Ransom, and I'm missing one more guy. I don't know. But long story short, the value, the compensation was well worth it. The compensation was well worth it. I'll just say that. The compensation was well worth it. Interesting. Interesting. I don't think so, bro. I don't think that the Cowboys are gonna move him. I don't think that the Cowboys are gonna move him. And if even if they do, I don't believe that we're willing to pay the price that it's gonna cost. Because, like, yeah, you can package up whatever you want to package up, bro. But like, if two first isn't the start of the conversation, I don't think that you have any conversation transparently with the Cowboys. Let me go through this. I'm gonna go all the way back to the top, bro. So I'm gonna see. It was a play, bro. To me, it was a play because I believe Renfro and Thielen are the same player. They're the same guy. Why would you want 2 of those on your team when you can go get a guy that has been productive all throughout camp and Bryson Tremaine and show some pop on the game film as well? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you definitely should, Omar. Shout out to Omar. What up? You definitely should. Over under 4.5, ran the over. Ram the over. No cap. Shout out Marcos. Was popping. What's up, Blasian? I don't excuse me. I think that Jimmy Horn is so far down the depth chart, bro, that I don't think that this changes anything. Like, I saw the theory that the Carolina Panthers have like their own playbook. Like, Jimmy Horn has his own offensive playbook for plays like just strictly centered around him. I saw that theory, but I think that was going to be the case whether Adam Thielen was here or not. But he's still like wide receiver 6 or 7. Like, just honestly, just being 100% honest, in my opinion. Um, so I don't really think it means much. I don't think it changes much. The person that benefits from this the most, obviously, is Jalen Coker, because Jalen Coker instantly becomes a starter. He does. He instantly becomes a starter. So now you're rolling out Nalo, XL, and Jalen Coker in the slot. So that's who I think this move means the most for in terms of like that room specifically. I was elated. I'm not gonna lie, I was elated. What's up, Mr. Honky Dory? I mean, I feel that. I feel that. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. For one, that doesn't get the deal done. For one, that doesn't get the deal done. That's number one. And number two, I'm not willing to give up Derrick Brown because if I'm going to get Micah, I'm going to get Micah to pair up with the defensive line constructed the way it is now. And maybe I'll move off of, I don't know, Pat Jones, some shit like that. Multiple first round picks, multiple day 2 picks, and Pat Jones, and maybe that gets the deal done. But nah, I'm not trying to do that there. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not trying to do that. Look at this. Hey, we got a we got a Vikings fan in the chat. Hey, bro, I'm not gonna lie. Appreciate you joining first and foremost, but y'all's fan base is not all the way there. No cap. He says, "Skull Vikings, skull to the bowl." Yeah, you're drunk, nigga. It's only 1 o'clock Eastern time. Go slow on the alcohol. If Adam Thielen is what you're measuring your Super Bowl chances off of, you know. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, okay, go crazy, twin. Yeah, nah, for real, dog. But like I say, shout out to you though, man. Appreciate you hopping in and joining. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn the bell notification on. And you're very welcome. The first thing that you said when you entered the chat should have been, at Carolina Panthers fans, thank you so much. And then we could have said you're welcome, and then we could have furthered the conversation. That's what y'all need to say first, because y'all wanted to do all of this talking about the Panthers have no leverage and do this and that, but y'all hit our phone with that begging shit. Y'all hit our phone begging. And y'all ain't want to pay the price. So cool. Y'all don't want to pay the price and y'all don't want to eat his contract. We'll keep him. We don't give a fuck. What difference does it make to us? We y'all the ones that want him. So cool. But when you have fans saying skull to the bowl because the move to add Adam Thielen, yeah. You can look at the chat on YouTube, bro. If you want to watch it, if you want to look at the chat, you have to go on YouTube, because Twitter, like, honestly, Twitter does not do a good job with like interactions between like creators and the chat. They don't do a good job. So like this is strictly like YouTube chat, but obviously I can see your message, Esco, as well on X. But yeah, YouTube is the way to go. If you go on YouTube right now and you search up for Panthers fans only, you'll be able to find us and you'll be able to find the live. But just know they getting on his ass. Let me see. For a wide receiver going to be buried in the depth chart when Addison comes back after his suspension. We fleeced him. Yeah, bloody. I mean, I think that, I don't know. Well, yeah, I think actually we did fleece him, because we're getting a 4th round pick. Ultimately, we're getting a 4th round pick for, like you said, a guy that, honestly, when Jordan Addison comes back, bro, and I don't know if Naylor is ever going to get healthy for them, but when those two guys come back, bro, Adam Thielen becomes wide receiver 4 or 5 yet again, because you already have Jettas, obviously, right? So it's just like, yeah, if y'all want to give up a 4th for that, then hey, by all means, we'll accept it and we'll take it. Thank you so much for your services. Same thing we did with the Dallas Cowboys and Jonathan Mingo. We turned Jonathan Mingo into what? Ransom? We turned Jonathan Mingo into Ransom or Trevor. I don't know. Long story short, we turned Jonathan Mingo, who never panned out to be worth shit in 3 years. We turned him into a productive piece to our team. So, same situation here. Yeah, no cap. Zay, no cap, bro. No cap. That's what he should have. No cap. That's what he should have came into the chat. And I don't know if I ran him off, bro. Damn, because I don't see him no more. I don't know if I ran him off, but yeah, the first thing he should have said, like before doing all that scold chanting shit coming in this chat, bro, the first thing he should have said was, at Panthers fans, thank you. With the this emoji. That's the first thing he should have did and should have said. No cap. Yeah, it was a phenomenal deal, bro. Dan Cook. Dan and Brent Cook, in my opinion, because like I said earlier, I think what was holding up the deal was the fact that they didn't necessarily want to eat that contract. And unfortunately, if you want them, you're going to eat that contract. This is not a suggestion, or this is not a maybe you will, maybe you no nigga. If you want them, pay the fee. Pay. You gotta pay. You gotta pay. I think they cook. Yeah, like that feels really good, bro. That feels really good, right? So when you take into account what we did when we extended Taylor Moton and the cap space that freed up, and then you see you moving on from Adam Thielen, bro. Like I don't know the exact numbers, and this is something maybe that I'll pull up. Maybe I'll go live again this week and talk about the 53 man. Maybe I won't. Like I honestly don't know because I'm actually heading to Atlanta this weekend, so I probably won't. But maybe next week on the pod, like on the actual episode, we'll pull up the cap space and look kind of in detail on what it looks like currently. But listen, I know that those two moves there, I know that it helped us significantly. I do know that for a fact because they wouldn't have been made if they didn't. That's why Dan Morgan has Brent Tillis right there. It's kind of like the relationship, the Moneyball relationship. Y'all ever seen Moneyball? Like that's how I view Brent Tillis and Dan Morgan. That's how I view their relationship as it pertains to our front office. No cap. Okay, Esco, I see you made it over to X, bro. Perfect. Or made it over to YouTube. Shout out to you. That's interesting. That's an interesting take, QJ. That's an interesting take. That's something actually that I haven't thought about. QJ said this is a similar situation when Cam Newton lost Steve Smith, right? Because we know that their relationship wasn't the best when he was here. And I'm not saying that that's the case by any stretch of the imagination as it pertains to Bryce and Adam Thielen. But when you have a guy that you just constantly rely on, and the expectation is to constantly get him the football, you kind of stunt your growth and development as a quarterback. You do. We like QJ said, we saw that with Cam Newton. Even though Cam cooked his rookie season, right? Then he kind of hit a ceiling until 89 was gone, bro. And then we got 2015 Cam at some point or another, right? And don't get me up here lying by any stretch, bro. Steve Smith is by far one of my favorite Panthers players. I struggle every day with having him or Cam Newton as my one, as great as Carolina Panthers to ever play for the organization, right? But in that same breath, like sometimes that's just how it be. Sometimes that's just how it be, bro. And if losing Adam Thielen pushes Bryce Young to another level, that is a win for the Carolina Panthers, bro. That's a win because we already saw how he cooked the last 10 games, right? And I don't want to keep harping on it because now we're 8 days away from the start of the 2025 season. So I'm not going to keep harping on it, but Bryce Young showed us what he has the ability to be. He just simply did. He showed us what he has the ability to be. And with the young guys and with the talent that we have in that room right now, I think this does help him, bro. I think this move does help him. I really do. I think this move helps him take that next step in his development. I do. Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Now shit is getting spicy. And I have I'm gonna say maybe 5 more minutes. But bro said he has 5 reasons Vikings will go to the Super Bowl and 12 excuses or in 12 excuses from why you won't. Okay. This should be fun. 5-12. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. That was a good setup. Hey, shout out to you. I'll give you a round of applause. I'll give you a round of applause for that. That was cute, bro. That was cute. I'm not gonna lie. I was honestly about to give you the floor too, but you know, you wanted to dick off and play with it. So nah, on God, them TLC, nah, for sure. Them TLC shirts gonna pop, nigga. Especially now that Thielen is gone. Yeah, they gonna pop. They gonna pop for sure. We gonna be working, bro. We gonna be working for sure. We working right now. I just talked to the designer today, matter of fact. Oh, this is good insight right here. Shout out B Dukes. Facts. We're so used to being the consumer in these trade talks. Like, feels good finally. Feels good finally to be the ones with the leverage. No, literally. Literally. That's why I couldn't really for the life of me understand why Vikings fans were tweaking the way they were, to be honest. I couldn't understand it, dog. Like y'all were tweaking and y'all were trying to tell us that we should just give him y'all or we should just give him to y'all because we've been bad for X amount of years. Like, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Excuse my French, but realistically, what are y'all talking about, dog? Like, no, that's not how this goes, dog. That's not how this goes. What is he worth to you? Because we know what he's worth to us, and we're not moving him without us getting what he's worth to us. So you're either going to get down or lay down. Either way, we'll be fine. Either way, we'll be fine. B Dukes, I couldn't agree with this statement more. It feels great to actually have leverage in one of these deals. And honestly, this is the second one because getting a fourth for Jonathan Mingo, bro, is like, I mean, that's something that we just don't talk about as fans enough, in my opinion. But getting a fourth for Jonathan Mingo is almost like I mean, I don't even know how to describe it without being blasphemous. But it's God level shit. Getting a fourth for Jonathan Mingo is next level shit, bro. Like honestly, no cap. Oh, that's unfortunate. We only claimed 2 players off waivers. Did that? Hey, Doug, did that come out already? And who were the people that we claimed? This nigga is trying to like why the Vikings fans feeling like they are like different. Can somebody please um can somebody please tell me who we claimed? Because I seen Doug said we only put 2 in. We only had 2 go through. DB and wide receiver. So we went and got another wide receiver that wasn't that wasn't Hunter Renfro. Yeah, of course he did, bro. Like, what's new? Isaiah, I just seen your tweet, bro. I mean your comment, bro. Yeah, that's what I was trying to tell them, bro, to start this whole video. Like, bro. Hey, why what is y'all hold on? What is the Viking Super Bowl record? Matter of fact, are you even old enough to have seen your team compete for a Super Bowl? Yes or no? If the answer to that question is no, you can't say shit to us because y'all are winless just like we are. So I mean, I don't really understand. I don't really understand your position, to be honest. Zay, where is that video at, bro? I would love to see that. Oh, they're 0-4. Okay, so so like how you can come in this chat talking greasy to us, bro? Like just get back, nigga. Just get back and take a deep breath. Y'all ain't that. Y'all ain't that. Like no cap. Oh, they went 4 times in the 70s. So the odds of him even seeing these Super Bowls that they competed for are slim to none almost, right? How old are you? What year were you born? And don't lie, bro. Hey, link that. Zay, link that for me. Drop like just it won't post as a direct link, but I'll just copy. I'll just copy the what you call if I even had the ability to do that. For sure. Well, appreciate that, bro. Hopefully, I hope we didn't go too hard on you this year or today, but can you please, before you head out, my guy, can you tell us what year you were born, if you don't mind? Because like I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up Viking Super Bowl appearances, and I'm gonna tell you if I think that you're lying or not. Please tell us the year that you were born. Competed for titles all the way back in the 70s, and he's talking greasy. Okay. For the dads. What is for the dads? Is that on X or that's on YouTube, bro? Okay. He said he's old enough. He said he's old enough. Okay. I still don't know like if you're being truthful or not, bro. Like I don't know if you like threw it in the VCR when you were younger and then maybe you just think that you remember it, but I guess we'll take your word for it, bro. But nevertheless, like you can't come in here talking crazy to us, dog. Like honestly, we've been to 2-30. Y'all have been to 0 in that same 30. Matter of fact, it's been 50 plus. It's been 50 plus since you've seen your team compete for a title, dog. So like cut it out. Nah, for real. Nah, for real. Okay, he said he's 61. So I mean the only thing that we can do is take your word for it. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Appreciate you tapping in and appreciate you subscribing too. Let me see if I can find the for the dads. Let me see. I didn't know he was giving it up. Oh yeah. I played it. I played it earlier. I played it earlier, bro. It's just crazy. Look at him.
I think that's why. Yeah, we're going home. 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 Are you excited? I think it was because you wore the twin shirt.
You know, and Panthers fans want me to give him a tribute, dude. Like, man, fuck that nigga. He ain't want to be here, bro. He ain't want to be here. But definitely appreciate his services, though. Know what I'm saying? Appreciate you, boy. I am leaking shit. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm leaking shit. Hey, chill, bro. Chill, bro. Chill. Oh my god, bro. Yeah. Chill. Yo. Oh man. All right, bro. Well, yeah, that's my 2 cents on the Adam Thielen situation. Yo, that's my 2 cents on the Adam Thielen situation. I think that this deal hurts us more, or excuse me, helps us more than it hurts us in rapping. In rapping, I think this deal helps us more than it hurts us. Of course, the compensation in the draft doesn't hurt, but I think that it's going to push Bryce Young to another level. I do. I think it's going to push him to another level. It's going to give more young guys more opportunities, which is always great, especially when you're talking about a team who I feel as though their window is officially open, right? And they have 5 years to do whatever they're going to do. Um, I think it's going to be beneficial. I do. So if you're a Carolina Panthers fan and you're like Dylan, our content manager, who has a unhealthy attachment to Adam Thielen for what he's done over 2 seasons, right? Like what, 20, 25 games, something like that, then I'm sorry for you. I hate to have a parade on your grave, but let's just move on. Let's just move on. The deal is done. And like I said, now I would love to see Hunter Renfrow be brought back. Let me see, bro. Who did the Panthers claim? Does anybody have that information? Did anybody have that information? Who did the Carolina Panthers claim off of waivers? Because I don't see any updates anywhere. Did Mike K drop something? All right. Let's look at this real quick. So bringing back Trelon Thomas to the practice squad. Ja'Tyre Carter passed through waivers unclaimed. He was reverted to the Panthers IR. None of our wave talent was claimed today. Shy Tuttle, though, will sign with the Titans. He got signed quick. He got picked up OD quick. Damn, bro. I'm tripping. Let me see. Delavon Campbell, that's one of the dudes. Caught 8 of 18 targets for 147 yards in the preseason for the Chargers. 6'4", 205. 23 snaps on special teams this summer as well. Okay. And then Damari Mathis. Okay, here we go. I got it. Appreciate y'all walking me through it. Damari Mathis and Delavon Campbell. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. I'm sure y'all will let me know if I'm not. Yeah, I mean, just two guys that really don't move shit. I don't think. I don't know them, but they're not, you know. Peace out, brother. Appreciate you joining the chat, man. Yeah, appreciate y'all letting me know, bro. I'm seeing the chat now. Nah, he didn't get claimed because he didn't have to, bro. He's a vet, so he just goes instantly to being a free agent. But nobody has claimed him. Nobody has claimed him yet. Nobody has claimed him yet. But yeah, I got to get back to work, man. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure to hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. Turn the bell notification on. This dude is going crazy, bro. And Josh is like beefing with him. Make sure to hit that like, comment, and subscribe button, bro. Turn the bell notification on. Again, visit www.4panthersfansonly.com right now to purchase your Carolina Reaper t-shirts. If I don't go live again tomorrow, then we will talk to you guys on Tuesday. Make sure to follow us on X, on Instagram, on all social media platforms. That is a way to stay up to date with what we have going on. We're very, very, very active on X. So if you're watching on YouTube right now and you're not following on X, I highly encourage you guys to do that right now at FPFO_podcast. Shout out to Bloody, shout out to Omar, shout out to all the mods in the chat. Shout out to chat as a whole. Appreciate y'all interacting with the video and keeping the conversation alive. And yeah. He's still going, bro. I can't do it. Appreciate the one Vikings fan in here that's holding it down for Minnesota. Even though y'all were sweet, even though y'all, even though, like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not doing this shit. I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. I'll talk to y'all soon.